So the really exciting thing about Little Saints and the reason I created them was because I wanted to get as close to the taste, smell, and mood feel of a cocktail as I possibly could. And so you might notice when you open it up, you can actually smell because we put terpenes in there, which are the smell molecules that lift our mood. When we walk into a forest and we smell pine and we think, oh my gosh, I feel really good, that's actually little terpene molecules getting absorbed into us. And similarly, for those of us who do now or have formerly drank wine, the terpenes are the smells in the wine that keep us going back for more. So, in addition to the nice smells of the ginger mule, we put two, really lovely plant ingredients that help boost serotonin and dopamine. Those are reishi mushroom extract and CBD. Those are both adaptogens. Adaptogens are the molecules that help us adapt to stress. And when you layer on, different adaptogens, especially CBD and reishi mushroom, it really gives you that both the take the edge off feeling that I previously relied on a glass of wine for, that like kind of like, deep breath in. And then it also, rather than like depleting your serotonin and dopamine after a short while, like alcohol does, it like helps you like sustain that high level of kind of happiness. And then, so those are the functional ingredients in the mocktails, and that gets us to as close to the taste, smell, and feel of a cocktail. But then they're also fun. So that's a ginger mule. I mean, we when we were formulating that, I have a female food scientist that I worked with to formulate that, and I was like, listen, I love a ginger mule. I love like getting that ginger beer in a mug. Let's make that as close to the flavor as we can, and then because all of us are very familiar with either sugar hangovers or sugar from alcohol hangovers. I wanted to make sure it was sugar free. So it's sweetened. There's no unnatural anything in there. You probably know me. I'm like psycho about ingredients. So there's monk fruit juice concentrate is the like sugar free, calorie free sweetener in there.
I do love that you mentioned the smell and that journey, because this has replaced my nightly glasses of wine.
Oh, I'm so happy to
And
hear that.
so it's, yeah. And a lot of people who enjoy wine, I still enjoy wine. I don't want to act like I don't. I really enjoy wine. I just also recognize that I'm 41 years old. I can't enjoy wine the way that I could when I was even 30 years old. I'm raising boys, who are now preteen and teenage years, and I want to be a good role model for them. I don't necessarily want them seeing their mom like associating nightly routines with alcohol. And see, like, I feel it's like, I guess it goes back to just the general health. I can't tolerate alcohol the way that I could. I want to look and feel my best every day. And so that was really all part of the quest and the journey. I don't have a partner at home either. Like my husband, or I have a partner at home, but I don't have a partner at home who is interested in alcohol. So when I was drinking at home, I was drinking alone. And that's also really like, is this really the right thing to be doing? So I don't know how to classify myself. When you consider people who are on a journey of rediscovery with their lifestyle, I definitely don't feel like I'm sober. I don't feel like because when we go out to dinner or, certain settings and occasions here in our own home, I still will drink alcohol, but there's a terminology, sober curious. I definitely feel like I can maybe identify with that. But most importantly, I found a product that I love and that gives me the same just state of what having a glass of wine at night used to give. Sometimes I actually still put this in my favorite wine glasses and I drink it from my
Oh, I
wine
love that.
glasses. But I don't know. So I don't really know how to identify myself, but I felt strongly here at the Produce Moms. I mean, we're in the thick of the holiday season. I felt strongly as we considered December and January content for our blog and for our podcast, we have to be responsible as it relates to alcohol promotions and mocktail promotions and balancing them and talking in we have alcohol recipes on our blog, but we adopted an internal working standard about 2 years ago, and it was driven by a gal on our team who shared her sobriety journey with us. And she's coming up on the podcast next month. So stay tuned, everyone, as we share Chrissy's story um, about choosing sobriety. But I she's the one who challenged me and helped me realize like booze culture is everywhere, and it really is everywhere as it relates to mom life and as it relates to food marketing, like food and beverage marketing. And I thought, wow, she's right, like I don't want my kids to grow up thinking that mom juice is booze. I don't want my kids to grow up thinking that the only way I can tolerate sitting around the family dinner table is with a glass of wine. And all of these different things, and it really started with her planting that seed and being honest about her journey and helping me understand like it's alcohol and even just seeing content online that normal, that just associates it with fruits and vegetables is can be a trigger to her. It really got me thinking with a wider lens about it and embrace, seeking out a product like yours to embrace a better lifestyle for myself. But so enough about me. I want to hear more about you. I want to hear more about how this product line started. I want to hear more, Megan, about, how, if your history working in, the produce industry played a role in your ability to create Little Saints. So just share a little bit more about your founder journey.
I love the way that you frame that as like a non-judgmental. Like I am a Wisconsin girl. I grew up in Wisconsin, like drinking Miller Lite. Like all of my friends from home still drank alcohol. So does my family. Like I am not judging anyone, right? So it's not like if you want to drink Little Saints, you can only have non-alcoholic drinks. Like I love it if people want to replace their wine one night a week, maybe like 7 nights a week. I mean, frankly, when I started the company, I started it because I was excessive drinking by myself during the pandemic. I'm single. I had just moved to Detroit and I didn't have any friends. It was that December 2020. And I found myself, to be honest, like drinking like two Negronis by myself every night. And, having been in that culture for so long of like drinking with other people, like I was previously, I was drinking to connect. I was drinking to relaxed with other people. And then the pandemic really shed light on like, why am I actually doing this? And then how is this making me feel? I had a history of depression and anxiety, as many of us do. And like, I just could not escape that while drinking alone during the pandemic. I mean, I was still like a functioning person and working and all that stuff, but I was like, oh, wow, this is really making me like much lower overall than my baseline state is. And then also, I couldn't sleep. So I did dry January 2021. It was like the first full, I might have done one before, but it was like the first one I did really consciously. And I ordered everything. I mean, that little Detroit house had like 40 different kinds of non-alcoholic drinks. Like every non-alcoholic drink in the world was in my kitchen. And I drank all of them. And I mean, so many of the founders of other non-alcoholic drink companies have amazing stories, and I have so much respect for them. But I couldn't find what I was looking for, which was like, I wanted to feel something. Like we reach for cocktails. The neuroscience of reaching for a cocktail is because it's not because like there's something wrong with us. It's because alcohol actually temporarily boosts our serotonin and our dopamine. And when we don't realize that that's happening, that is why we are reaching for alcohol. And so when you replace alcohol with a sparkling water, for example, you're not going to get that same boost. Now, Little Saints is not intoxicating by any, it's not, no ingredients in there. The CBD and the reishi mushroom are not intoxicating, but they do have a mild dopamine and serotonin boost in them from those adaptogens that give us like that close to that feeling of that relaxing feeling that we rely on alcohol for. And when I was looking out in the market at what was available in January 2021, that was not out there. And then I'm big on sugar. I reserve my sugar for like special occasions. And I thought, well, all of these non-alcoholic drinks have sugar in them. Like if I'm going to, at that point, when I was drinking more, I was like, well, if I'm going to drink sugar, I'm just going to have alcohol, like why would I drink a non-alcoholic drink with just as much sugar as an alcoholic drink? So I made sure I wanted to create something that was sugar-free. So that's why Little Saints are sugar-free. And that really is something that sets us apart from the rest of the non-alcoholic drinks.